In this tip, I want to talk a little bit about a concept we call cascade styling sheet sprites. So this is a concept that's actually been around for a while, but the reason that this is very applicable to a lot of things we do is that, again, kind of going off the whole fact of wanting to really have images run as well as possible and be very easy to use. One of the things that we used to do when the internet first came out is we wanted to break up images into all these small little chunks because we would use the browser's native capability to basically pull down each little individual image chunk on separate streams, and so a page would actually load faster. Well, now that bandwidth is not quite the issue that it used to be, but even more so now that browsers are so much more modern, we don't necessarily need that multi-stream pull down that we used to. Instead, what we actually find today is, and especially in like global internet type scenarios where we maybe have users accessing a system from somewhere far off with maybe low bandwidth scenarios, is actually what happens, especially in a system like SharePoint where maybe these pictures are actually stored inside SharePoint, which means they're inside the database, is that all these different calls can actually be a bottleneck inside the system. So with CSS, there's this concept of sprites. And so here, what typically ends up happening, let's say that you have a bunch of icons that you want to put in place. So you have all these different icons on the page that you're putting on here. And then your HTML code, whether it's part of your master page or as part of WYSIWYG or whatever you're doing there, is a div for each separate one, having each separate file. So now if you have this and the page loads, it now needs to load 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different pieces to be able to create this whole ensemble there and display them. So on the sprite side, how that's different is now instead of downloading 6 different things, you actually put these all as one image. So you'll see that these all actually sit in one image in that. And so from that standpoint, you actually, in your style sheet, you can again do divs here, but what you're doing is you're saying show this image by basically noting the XY coordinate of the image on the image itself. So from a browser standpoint, when it has a download, it just has to download this one file that we can optimize. So now it only has one call to the server, and then from there we can use it infinitesimally as much as we want throughout all these different icons, and just note the location of the icon by its XY coordinate. So overall, going to create a drastic improvement in the speed that your site runs.